Yo, what up guys? Jinhsi is a literal beast. She has the potential to do really big damage, and the amount of swapping you're gonna do with this character is insane. But before I get into her kit, I'm gonna let you know that I'm not gonna fully read her abilities. I'm gonna scan through it because I feel like the text makes it way more difficult than it needs to be. So this is going to be a super simple guide on using Jinhsi, and don't worry, I'll show you examples of every skill, so you're good. So mind you, I'm not even close to being done with building Jinhsi yet. We're still working on it. Now that we got that out of the way, her basic attack, heavy attack, mid-air attack, and dodge counters are pretty much just like any other resonator, so it's nothing crazy here. But the biggest part of her rotation is going to be her resonance skill and forte circuit. Now her skill set is going to have 4 skills, 4 stages of her rotation. The first one being the dash forward. Usually I use controller, but for the sake of this video, I'm just going to do it on mouse and key because I think most of y'all do mouse and key. So this is the first skill, the dash forward. Super simple and chill. The second skill is going to be overflowing radiance, and you have to use 4 basic attacks to get that, or activate your intro skill, long halo, and then your E will proc, which gives you overflowing radiance. So I showed you the dash, which is skill 1. Now, if I do 4 basic attacks, 1, 2, 3, 4, see how the skill procs up? That is overflowing radiance. You will have 5 seconds to use that, or else it disappears like it just did. So 1, 2, 3, 4, proc, boom, overflowing radiance. Once you do overflowing radiance, it will send Jinhsi into incarnation, which basically turns you into a god or goddess. So while in incarnation, your entire moveset basically changes. Your resonance skill becomes Crescent Divinity. I don't know if I said that right. And Crescent Divinity is your 3rd skill in your rotation. It doesn't require anything but being in incarnation mode. And one thing to note is that your basic attacks will be counted as resonance skill damage. And all these attacks can be cast in midair. So let's go over it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Overflowing radiance, you're in incarnation mode. Your basic attacks will look like this. And then this is Crescent Divinity. Right there. Sorry, the camera kind of flipped it out. Let me do it one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4. Overflowing radiance, incarnation mode, Crescent Divinity. And yeah, now we get to the 4th and final skill of this rotation, the Luminous Epiphany. After you do the 4th basic attack in incarnation mode, Jinhsi gains Ordination Glow. While Ordination Glow lasts, basic attack is replaced with incarnation heavy attack, but the biggest part of this skill is your resonance skill is replaced with a Luminous Epiphany, which sends out a solar flare that detonates as Stella Glamour. So what that means is your dragon basically does like a Shenron Super Kamehameha move. Alright, so let's go over it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Overflowing Radiance, Incarnation Mode, Crescent Divinity. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. And you see how the skill procs up? That is the Luminous Epiphany, and it will be this. Shenron Kamehameha, I call it. After you cast the Luminous Epiphany, Jinhsi gains Unison. This can be triggered once every 25 seconds. So those are the 4 skills that you'll be using with Jinhsi. Now before I show you how to put it all together, let me go over a couple more passives. And one of them is Unison. While Jinhsi has Unison, switching to other resonators will remove Jinhsi's Unison to trigger Jinhsi's outro skill and the next resonator's intro skill. So basically Unison is a free outro intro skill swap. And get this, Unison will be consumed in priority in place of Concerto Energy when Concerto Energy is full. What this means is if you have full Concerto Energy and you trigger Unison, you can literally do Jinhsi's outro skill and the next resonator's intro skill and still have a full Concerto Energy to activate that next resonator's outro skill and Jinhsi's intro skill immediately. But that's what I meant by you're going to be doing a lot of swapping with this character. The next one is Incandescence. Jinhsi can hold up to 50 incandescence. So I'm actually going to make this really simple. When Jinhsi is on your team, everybody on your team gains Errors in Unity. Errors in Unity pretty much makes it to where everybody on your team can help Jinhsi gain Incandescence. Jinhsi gains 1 Incandescence anytime resonators in the party inflict a tribute damage. And you could do this 1 time every 3 seconds. Now this is where it gets a little crazy. Jinhsi gains 2 incandescents when resonators in the party damage the enemy with coordinated attacks, which it will be the same thing, 1 time every 3 seconds. So that basically means that Jinhsi's perfect team is actually either with Yinlin or Morty because they do coordinated attacks. Now before I go ham on this rampage monkey, your incandescence is your forte meter above your HP bar. That's what's going to be building up as you do damage, or your resonators do attribute damage or coordinated attacks. Now the whole goal of your rotation is to have that forte meter filled all the way up before you use Illuminous Epiphany. That is the goal, to do big damage with Jinhsi, because Illuminous Epiphany can consume up to 50 incandescents, and with each point you're basically getting bonus damage multiplier percentage that does huge damage. Okay, so I'm going to show you what Illuminous Epiphany looks like with very low stacks of incandescents, and then I'm going to do one with a full bar of incandescents. Hopefully this goes the way that I want it to. Alright, come on, Rampage. What the freak? He's scared, bro. I get it. Alright, come fight me. Oh, shit. Alright. Alright, this is a very low stack of incandescents. 7k damage. Okay, so that was low stack. Switching to Yinlin.
You're not getting away.
Hopefully this dude doesn't die. Okay. These are the coordinated attacks. You see how that fills up the bar? Go back into here. Do this. Alright, this is a almost full bar of incandescence. 24k damage. And he's dead. Now that's the difference between a low bar of incandescence and a high bar of incandescence. And you know, there's a lot of things that go into that, like crit rate, crit damage, echo stats, all that stuff. But that is the basic gist of it. Now let me go over the final 2 skills. We got the intro skill, and I didn't go into much detail about it, but I'm pretty sure you've seen it into action a few times by now. The intro skill is Long's Halo, and when you do this skill, it basically puts you into incarnation immediately. So that's pretty simple to understand. Her outro skill, Temporal Bender, basically makes it to where everybody on your team can help you stack incandescents way easier at 1 time every 1 second for 20 seconds. And then we got her Resonance Liberation, which I will show you an example of right now. So yeah, that's pretty much Jinhsi's kit. You're going to be doing a lot of swapping, and everything is to build up that forte meter so you can do the burst damage. Hopefully that was easy for everyone to understand, and remember, that's just the base of her kit. I'm pretty sure you can do other things to optimize it even more, but it's the beginner's guide, man. Now the next part I'm going to go over pretty quickly. I'm going to go over weapons, echoes, and teams. Obviously, the best weapon for her is her signature weapon, Aegis of Harvest, which gives you attack and crit rate, but it's not just because of the stats. Divine Blessing grants 12% attribute damage bonus, but the intro skill is going to boost your resonant skill damage by 24%, and Jinhsi does a lot of resonant skill damage. Second is going to be Verdant Summit. If you already pulled it, if you don't have it, it's not available right now. And then after that, it's going to be Lustrous Razor, the last 5-star broadsword that I mentioned. And then when it comes to 4 stars, anything besides Dauntless Evernight, I think will do. And then when it comes to echoes, Jue is going to obviously always be your main echo, no matter if you're doing 44111 or 43311. Jue was just really built for Jinhsi. You can summon Jue to attack the enemies dealing spectral damage, and you just summon him while you're still doing your damage. And you can perform Resonant Skill to deal sustained spectral damage to the enemies over time, so it's another thing that synergizes with Resonant Skill damage. The main stats you want to go after with your echoes is crit dam, crit rate, and obviously Resonant Skill damage. And as for best teams, you're going to want to either go with Yinlin or Morty, mainly because of their coordinated attacks, and coordinated attacks helps you fill your forte meter faster, so you could do huge damage with the Luminous Epiphany. If you don't have those two, I mean, truthfully, you can make a case for a lot of resonators on here. Sanhua would be cool, basic attack damage buff, and this one might sound kind of weird, and believe me bro, I'm not a fan of Tao Chi. I believe everybody when it says that she's mid is telling the truth, but she does give you a resonant skill damage buff for 38%, and what have we learned from this kit so far is that Jinhsi uses a lot of resonant skill damage, so that could also be a teammate. But truthfully, especially if you don't have Yinlin or Morty, or even if you did have both of them, just use whoever you want. This game is based on playstyle and skill, and I believe you can make almost anybody work in this game. Yeah, we're trying to do the best that we can, but at the end of the day, it's all about having fun, bro. But yeah, I think that's about it. That's pretty much all the basics about Jinhsi in this game. And I didn't talk about getting dupes of Jinhsi or getting dupes of weapons because I wanted it to be free to play friendly. But yeah, I hope the entire kit was easy to understand. This is my first time doing this, so hopefully I can keep improving on it. Thank you for listening, and I hope you have a good day.